Hi guys, it's Debbie, and today I would like to speak about The Florida Project, directed by Sean Baker. This film portrays the life of the inhabitants of a long-stay motel near Disney World in Florida. In particular, it follows the story of 6-year-old Mooney, which lives in the motel with her unsupervised and irresponsible mother Haley. Haley is struggling with economic issues and does anything possible to make ends meet, in particular taking advantage of the tourists which swarm the area for Disney World. Her activities include selling phony tickets to the park, fake perfumes, and she ends up fighting her way through every demand for money the motel has for her. Without revealing too much about the plot, let's just say that she does nothing concrete or sensible to provide for herself or for her daughter, and just allows her to roam freely in the area. She exposes her to her quarrels, she makes her help her with her illegal activities, and ends up spoiling her with the money they made from these activities, setting a bad example. So in general, we particularly follow Haley's life, her loving but irresponsible attitude towards her daughter, her relationship with the other families in the motel, and in particular with stressed manager Bobby, portrayed by Willem Dafoe. Personally, The Florida Project is not a film I would pick to watch and rewatch over and over again. Just like it is a brief insight into the lives of the inhabitants in the motel in the time frame of the film, it's a film I'd only like to watch once in a long while. But I love this film. I absolutely loved it in its nearly documentary style, and this is what makes it so special. It is an apparently simple film, but which in reality pays close attention to every detail, and which I believe will leave each viewer something different on a personal level. I love the visual aspect of it all, with the contrast of the area shown as this bright, colourful Disney dream destination with a warm sun, the swaying palms in the background, with even the walls of the motel painted in bright violet. Mooney eating huge pastel coloured ice creams, Haley with her dyed hair and her bright clothes. But as I was saying, there was a contrast because this brightness in reality hides a facade of criminality and poverty. Even the motel in which the film is set is called Magic Castle, and the one next door is called Futureland. But there's nothing fancy or dreamlike to all of this. And when we see Mooney selling fake tickets to Disney World to plump rich tourists, we understand how often the things we see and the things we give for granted hide a much sadder reality. And director Sean Baker hinted to this in an interview in which he described Mooney's jealousy in seeing the other kids going to Disney World, and of how she recreates a dream visit to the park by looking at the animals in the field behind the motel, or exploring abandoned apartment blocks with her friends. Her jealousy is not anger or sadness for the lack of money. Mooney is happy and does not care for richness or poverty. She is aware of being different from the wealthy men which buy the tickets from her and her mother, but she's happier spending the few dollars they make on sparkly princess crowns at the local discount store, or on extra toppings on pancakes at a diner. Mooney just loves the innocent childhood dream of Disney World. Mooney loves being a child. She loves living at the Magic Castle Hotel, running around all day long with her friends, eating pizza in bed with her mother, staying up until late watching the fireworks. She isn't conscious of her situation yet. And the sadder realistic aspect of the film is that when we read everything through her mother's eyes, we see the truth and the fact that Haley is fully aware of it, and it's like as if she lives in a completely different world. I loved Brooklyn Prince in her role as Mooney. I'm sure that after this role she'll have many more opportunities to continue her career as an actress. She definitely gave us a whole array of realistic behaviours a child would have, the manners of speech, regardless of the situation in which she is. Brooklyn Prince gave the film that element of mischievousness, of adventure, but still of wanting to be safe at home. And there is one scene in particular, which I will not reveal, in which this concept was at peak level, and I just wanted to reach out beyond the screen and give Mooney a big hug. Mooney's mother is portrayed by Bria Vinita, and to be completely honest, for the first half of the film, I was so annoyed by her character. But then it dawned on me that this is exactly how Haley is meant to be. She's supposed to be the mean troublemaker, the rude neighbour which disturbs everybody in the building, the one with the loud, annoying, swearing voice 24/7 even when she's wrong, scamming tourists in a nearby parking lot. I've more than once said this: if you hate a character which is meant to be hateful, the actor is doing a great job. This effect happened with Jared Leto in Blade Runner 2049, Woody Harrelson in War for the Planet of the Apes. And we also must remember that Haley's loud, complaining, arrogant attitude in reality hides a much more fragile personality. I believe that the character endured so many hardships that she will always barge her way through life in a hostile, bitter manner, but only to hide the fact that she has many fears and insecurities, an aspect of her character which makes its way out in the third half of the film. in the third part of the film. I also really liked Willem Dafoe in the role of Bobby, the stress manager of the hotel, which has to put up with the multiple complaints for the rundown situation of the facility, on top of basically having to be a replacement parent for many children that live in it, and having to deal with the inhabitants' exasperating attitude. I somehow feel that I haven't said enough about this film, and I'm describing it in a very diminutive manner, but altogether, because of all the above mentioned reasons, I would definitely recommend watching The Florida Project. If you have already seen it, let me know what you thought about it with a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye!